Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking down my fall decor and adding some touches of winter. So I'm here in my storage room because I wanted to show you how I have things organized right now. I don't have a ton of winter decor or really any season because I just moved from an apartment to a house a couple of months ago. So as we build kind of our decor collection here, I'm going to be reorganizing and rearranging the storage room, but I wanted to show you how things are right now. So I have all of my decor on these shelves that we got from Costco way up high there. So I'm gonna need Jim's help to get that down. But in the future, I'm going to put things back into these larger white tote storage bins and organize things that way. So there'll be some organizing of the storage room in the future. But for now, I'm gonna get Jim so he can get that stuff down for me and we can get to decorating for the holidays. I'm starting off by making a gingerbread latte, and let me tell you, this thing is so good. It has gingerbread syrup, so I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of water, 2/3 of a cup sugar, 3 tablespoons of molasses, and then for the spices, I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So bring that to a boil on a saucepan, mix it around, and while that starts to boil, I'm going to make my cup of coffee just a little bit smaller than usual, so I have lots of room for frothy milk and this gingerbread syrup. And once it gets to a boil, you're gonna turn off the heat and let it cool for a little bit. I'm using my milk frother to make this, so I added in a little bit of my favorite oat milk that froths up really nicely. And for each serving, you can do about 3 tablespoons. You'll see each tablespoon isn't totally full, but I don't need that much sugar. It is really sweet and delicious. So I'm adding it to my milk frother that I use quite often, frothing it up and putting it on top of my warm coffee, and then gonna sprinkle on a little bit of cinnamon. And like I said, this is so good. You have to try it.
Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree, and I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning.
So now that I'm fully in the spirit with my gingerbread latte and got to sit down and sip on that for a while Jim went downstairs and got all of the holiday decor upstairs, I'm ready to start pulling it out and figuring out exactly what I have. Like I said, being in an apartment, I feel like I have a lot of smaller pieces of decor and not a lot of large, substantial pieces, which I would like to have in a home. I think when you have a lot of small things, it tends to make spaces look a lot more cluttered, and it did make sense in an apartment having small things just because there's not a lot of room. But now we have some big areas to decorate, so my plan was to slowly start purchasing those things and especially buy some after Christmas time so we can get some discounts. With purchasing a new house and having a baby on the way, there are lots of other expenses. So our plan this year was to not buy a whole bunch of stuff to decorate our house and to wait for sales. I did maybe go shopping a little bit already and kind of broke that thought. So I did buy a couple of things at Kirkland's here, those little gift boxes that you see, the small tree, and then the snowflake. But I really hope that's it for the holiday season. But I couldn't help myself when I saw these and knew that I wanted to decorate this entry table area. And they were already on sale and I had a coupon for moving, so it just felt like I could do a little bit of splurging here.
Christmas memories.
These gift boxes actually light up and they take 3 batteries each, and same with the tree, which is kind of a lot of batteries, and I don't want to leave them on all the time, obviously. Those would use up the batteries immediately. They do have a 6-hour timer on them, which is really nice, but still running for 6 hours and then 18 hours off is still a long time for the batteries to run. So I'm not sure if I'm going to set them up on a timer or if I'm going to individually turn them on and off. Maybe once it gets closer to the holidays, I'll let it go on a timer, and for now, I'll just turn it on when we have company. We'll see.
The speed of light while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing, just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
I wanted to give this unit a quick wipe down because I have a little table runner that I got a while ago that actually fits perfectly on here and brings in a little bit of the winter theme going on. So I added on a couple of other items here, but I really, again, wish I had some larger things that were more substantial. And you'll see I stuck our menorah here. I'm Jewish, my husband's Catholic, so this is a blended household. I don't have a ton of Christmassy Christmas decor. It's usually very winter themed, so when I have a wooden sign, like the one that I just bought, it is a snowflake. It doesn't say Merry Christmas or anything like that. Everything that I like to have is very winter themed, happy holidays, and inclusive. But of course, some things are a little bit more Christmassy, like the tree or this garland that we're going to try and hang. It was Jim's idea to try and put it over the landing here, and I want your opinions. How do you think it looks? Should we have left it on the railing or should we have dropped it down low like we did? Part of me feels like we should have left it up high on the railing, but I'm not sure. I wish we could hang it over our mantle, but our mantle isn't large enough. It doesn't really work on our stairs that well, so we were just playing around with this idea. While I was still up there, I had Jim go down and see what he thought it looked like. He wasn't sure, so we switched places, and I told him where it needed a little bit more fluffing and which parts needed to be pushed down a little bit more, and he helped out that way, and it was a lot nicer with his long arms.
Singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before. As we walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Yeah. A Merry Christmas Day.
The main place I had fall decor was right here in my kitchen, so I want to remove that, wipe down the counter a little bit because I don't get back there as often when there's decor, so it's a good opportunity to fully wipe it down and then bring out the winter decor that I'm thinking I want to put in this area. And oh my gosh, did I arrange this and rearrange this so many times. And that's what I'm talking about with small pieces of decor. It can just be such a hassle trying to figure out all the little things, and if I had just one big piece, it would be a lot easier. So eventually I actually referred back to my photo from last year as to how I arranged it in our apartment kitchen, which helped a lot, but I'm still not sure if I'm fully satisfied with the way it looks. And that's one of my favorite things to do with holiday decor. If you find something that you like and works this year, take a photo of it so you remember it for next year. I remembered all of these pieces were in the corner of our kitchen last year, but just couldn't remember how it was arranged. So having a photo to refer to makes all the difference. It makes decorating year after year so much easier.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
The other area I for sure remembered how I wanted to decorate was this bowl that had all the pumpkins in there. So I'm going to pull the pumpkins out and add a white candle in the middle and then my white ornaments. So again, this is something that the ornaments can be kind of seen as Christmassy, but to me they just look like little white balls of snow and look super cute. So I fill those up in there, and then I bought some picks that are kind of a frosted, flocked tree look and stuck those in there and played around a little bit till I liked the look of it, and that is going to be kind of the centerpiece of our island.
Yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family.
Now I'm just gonna build up decor here while I'm at the kitchen counter and have everything and figure out where I want it to go after and place it around the house, because I have ideas of what I want inside each of these things, but not necessarily where they go because our house is new. So I'm going to add some greenery into these ice skates here. If you didn't know, I was a figure skater before we moved away from Denver here to Nebraska. I used to coach figure skating. So I have a huge love for skating and really like these skates. I still want to add in maybe like a candy cane or a pop of color there, but for now, that is what I have. I'm adding in my sparkly pine cones into the Let It Snow bin. And then this large glass vase is another one. I ended up referring back to a photo from last year to figure out how I did it. And I remember last year I did the same thing. I had to refer back to the previous year to figure out how I did it. So I actually did 2 layers of little ornaments, then put in the mini cake stand, and then put my candle in there.
Christmas lights are all around. I can see them now. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again.
My favorite way of decorating the sink for the holidays is using Mrs. Meyer's peppermint dish soap, Mrs. Meyer's peppermint hand soap, and then a little mason jar full of candy canes. It's functional decor. You can use it by using up the hand soap and dish soap, and you can even eat the candy canes, and it looks really cute together. So here's where we bring in a little bit of Christmas. My mother and father-in-law last year got us some stockings. If only we knew that we had a baby on the way or would have a baby on the way for the next year. So we only have 2 of these matching stockings, but I'm going to stuff them a little bit. I assume that's what you should do with stockings. I've never had them before, didn't grow up with them. So we are going to hang them just with command hooks because that's all I have right now. I would like to have those little stocking hangers, but haven't purchased those yet and probably want a matching set. So we're still going to hold off on that, but Jim's helping me out, both to help me place it, but also to see what he thinks looks best and which side of the TV they should go on and if they should go together or apart. And you can see he was watching football all day. I was doing this on a Saturday and he was enjoying the game while I was enjoying myself decorating. But you'll obviously see he's helping in and out throughout the video as I need assistance hanging that garland, getting the decor out, and helping out with those stockings.
It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I'm trying to show you, but somehow still I wanna have someone to hold.
So here's the final look of that little TV area. Something that's really important to note is you don't necessarily have to put out all of your decor every single year. Don't overdo it. There's a lot of things that I felt like weren't really working or I didn't know what to do with yet, so I just packed those back up. Grabbed a couple of items that I wanted to put in our guest bathroom. I am going to get some more holiday themed soap in there. We have autumn soap right now, so I will replace that. And then had an idea to put the skates with a snowflake upstairs at the top of the landing there. We still need some artwork or something else in this space, but for now, a little touch of decor makes it feel a little bit better. Last but not least today, I wanted to make a little bit of a holiday treat, so I was going to wipe down the countertop, get rid of all of that glitter. You'll see I'm using my glass spray bottles and my microfiber cloth. Those are still available on my website if you're interested in purchasing them. But I needed to get this counter clean so we didn't have any glitter particles end up in our muffins. Here are all of the ingredients I'm going to use for today's orange cranberry muffins. I also really love these. So the recipes from today's video, in my opinion, are huge hits. Jim, I don't think had ever had fresh cranberries. Maybe he had a cranberry sauce in the past that was made with fresh cranberries. He's definitely had dried cranberries or craisins, but he was new to the fresh cranberries baked into baked goods. And I will say he's not a huge fan of them. He thinks cranberries are a little bit too tart. I personally love the tart cranberries in baked goods. I would double the amount of cranberries if I could. I much prefer desserts like this as opposed to ones with chocolate chips in the inside. So this is right up my alley and something I would easily make again and again. I'll leave the recipe for these muffins in the description box below. They really aren't that complicated, but for some reason I always have trouble finding cranberries. But I will say it is becoming the season for cranberries. It's a perfect transitional flavor to me because it does make me think of winter, but also a little bit fall. I feel like it's a flavor that is, of course, brought into Thanksgiving with cranberry sauce. But it's also brought in with Christmas time a lot and in December. So it is a good flavor if you're not quite ready for that gingerbread flavor and you want something that feels transitional. I think cranberries are a great choice. Like usual, I doubled this recipe as well so I could have more for a freezer stash. And discovering that cranberries aren't Jim's favorite, that just means more for me because whenever I make double of a recipe or try and make extra for a freezer stash, it feels like it's impossible to keep it in the freezer because somebody wants to keep going into the freezer and grabbing all of the baked goods that I've made. So it's nice to know that this one won't get eaten quite as quickly because it's not his favorite and it's more about me and my favorite. So this one will stay in the freezer for a little bit longer and hopefully last until after we have the baby and I can grab some muffins whenever I want a little treat. The last thing I was doing to make the muffins is to alternate between adding those dry ingredients and the mixture that had sour cream and orange juice in it, just kind of alternating every other. First of all, that helps make sure that the batter doesn't just explode all over the place if you add all your dry ingredients at once, but it's slowly incorporating both and mixing them fully together. After that, I added in those fresh cranberries. It looks so good to me already, and just barely mixed them in. You want to fold them in. You don't want to mix it really hard because those cranberries will break down and crack, and it's much better when you have those full juicy cranberries in your baked goods.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday.
A cookie scoop makes this process so quick and easy, and I actually ended up doing quite a few muffins. So put that first load in there and I did end up making 3 more trays, I think, of muffins. So we definitely made a lot. And there is an option to make a glaze for this with powdered sugar, some fresh squeezed orange juice, a little bit of milk. I just had oat milk, and mix that all up with a tiny bit of the orange zest. And I had some leftover zest, so I just used that bowl that I zested the oranges into earlier and mixed that up. And you can see it didn't really measure a ton. It just got it to the consistency that I wanted, and drizzled that over the muffins.
Come on now, let's go, caroling through the snow all day. We've been good, but we can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas tree for you and me. Oh, little bear toys that cuddle and woo, dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats.
Thanks for joining me for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed and are excited for the holidays like I am. If you did, I'd appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you guys later.